Welcome back, everyone, to this episode of Socratic Cinema. My name is Charlie Heatherly.
I'm Kasey Clark.
I'm Haleigh Phillips.
And I'm James DeLicio.
And today we watched an absolute modern classic, Moonrise Kingdom by Wes Anderson. A very strange film, to say the least. We watched it in preparation for The French Dispatch. That's the name of the movie that's coming out.
Yes.
His new one.
His newest work.
Yeah, we wanted to familiarize ourselves with Wes Anderson's work, his style, his way of shooting a movie, and it is unlike anything else.
It was.
Yeah.
I wanna do a little Socratic newsletter real fast, if that's cool with you guys.
Socratic
Ready
news?
for some Socratic news?
I'm
ready.
prepared.
Item number 1. You guys have probably been noticing it for the past few months. We've had an unwanted guest in our podcast that goes by the name of this little buzz in the background that we can't get rid of. I want to let you all know a little personal insight. We just spent the past hour trying to get rid of this buzz before we started recording because we didn't want to deal with the buzz. It's not going away. So any audio engineers out there in the audience, please help. We're using an H6 as our interface with 4 Audio Technica, I don't know, ATR something mics. Please help. We've tried Phantom Power. We've tried everything. Nothing's working.
James is very distressed. We had to call in a therapist to help him out.
Yes.
He's been talking about his problems. We're in desperate need of some expertise.
Is still burning.
And nothing is getting better. Nothing is getting better here. Other news.
Should we tell them about how we nearly broke our mics by plugging them into a
my
prison of a
That took up a
audio
lot
interface?
of our time.
Alcatraz.
We tried another audio interface to see if that would work, and we plugged all our mics in, and when we realized it wouldn't work, we couldn't get them out, and so a big chunk of our time was spent trying so hard to rip these XLRs out of these sockets. I don't know.
We're muscle builders now because of how much energy
yeah.
we had to expend.
Yes.
I pulled out all 4 of them.
False.
I pulled
He
out.
was the only one who didn't.
I pulled out one of them.
Listen,
Casey pulled 2.
I
And
loosened
then
it
I
up.
was the last champion.
I loosened it up for Haleigh and Kasey to pull theirs out.
All right.
But,
you pushed it back in.
In other
then he
news,
Unapplicable.
tried to put it back in.
yeah, Charlie was really mad.
I just wanted to make sure that it all worked. And it did.
Anyways, moving on. We've made it out of Oscar season, everybody.
We
Yes.
have.
It's
Yes.
done. No more Parasite, no more 1917. It's a new year now. We are getting ready for a new wave of movies. And until these new movies start coming out, we're doing some old favorites and some ones that none of us ever got around to seeing, like Moonrise Kingdom.
Yeah, I mean, half of us had seen it before. But,
That's true. 2/4 of us had seen it.
Dang, they just doing us,
All
guys.
right.
They doing us.
But you didn't remember half of the movie either.
That's
so.
It's
I mean, it's just official that James and I are the real cinephiles here, if that's the correct
We're in
term.
the same miniature.
it is
canoe.
the correct term.
Wow, look at me.
But we've known that. Anyways, moving ahead.
Okay.
Charlie, what did you think of Moonrise Kingdom?
Well, I had seen the movie before, but I only remembered about 10 minutes of it going into it, and that was the scene where they're dancing on the beach, because that's probably the most iconic bit of the entire movie.
Iconic is one way to put it.
It's a little creepy. It's a lot of creepy, actually. But it's an interesting film. I don't think it's his best. I like his animated movies better. I think Fantastic Mr. Fox is just a fantastic representation of his style. Yeah, but it's a fantastic representation of his style and his creativity. This movie felt a little bit too oddball for me, which, you have to be prepared for it with Wes Anderson, but it was a little, like, a touch too awkward. And I think that if they tightened up the screenplay a little bit, they actually used the references that they had set up, like the treehouse that was supposed to be dangerous and then never was dangerous. If they used all that and put it into the actual plot of the movie, then I think it could have been better. But I enjoyed myself. I thought it was a fun film, and it's Wes Anderson, so it's good. He hasn't had a bad movie yet.
I mean, I feel like the awkwardness brought charm to it. It brought me back to, like, me when I was little and, like, a confused little gremlin, like, just going around, like, just, like, building tree houses and, like, hanging out with friends.
Did you used to build tree houses?
I mean, I used to go over to a lot of tree houses my friends had. So
Yeah.
it was like,
I always would be jealous of my friends' tree houses because we didn't have any real like suitable trees at home. I also think the awkwardness, it's very much that's very much Wes Anderson style, like the monotone, awkward delivery, very like what's the word, Wes Anderson-y? I don't know.
Yeah.
He's very distinct with his style. I feel like at times it was treading into style over substance. I think the story and the screenplay was surprisingly tight. I kind of forgot, but I was watching it. I was thinking, yeah, this is a solid enough story with a pretty cool arc and cast of characters. I thought some of the set pieces were really cool, like the church and all the scouter camps. It was a little weird for me at some points. Whenever they tried to use computer effects, I just was not feeling it. But it definitely added to the overall feel of it. I don't think anyone can dislike the aesthetic of it. It's a pretty likable.
Okay, well, I don't dislike the aesthetic, but there's definitely people that hate Wes Anderson, and I can totally understand why.
Oh yeah, huh.
Like he's a very particular filmmaker, and if you're not down to make your way through his way of shooting a shot, of allowing actors to explore their space, then you're not going to have a fun time. But if you're down to, tread with some of the more awkward parts, then you're going to get a movie that's pretty good, I think.
Casey?
I liked it. I feel like this is technically my first, full Wes Anderson film.
Oh.
Whoa, what was
Yeah.
your other one?
I've watched, bits and pieces of Fantastic Mr. Fox. But other than
I see.
that, yeah. But I went into the movie knowing that it was going to be weird just because of how I've kind of talked or heard about how Wes Anderson kind of goes about his films. But it was really pretty. I agree that it was kind of really awkward at parts, but if that's his thing, then he's doing it really well.
Yeah.
Especially, I feel like it's a good amount of awkwardness because it felt like very much of a coming of age story.
Absolutely.
So you gotta throw in that preteen awkwardness in there. But he also handled it well, that it wasn't fully surrounding the kids. You have the parents that you have to deal with, and then the scouts, and it was just very well. There was a lot of complexities, but it wasn't overly complicated, and I appreciated that.
I have a hot take to present about Moonrise Kingdom.
I've never heard this hot take
oh my
before.
gosh.
Are
tell
you ready
us.
for this brand new hot take?
I'm prepared.
Spill.
I'm so ready.
Oh, hold on. Gotta plug in the H6. It's gonna die.
Wait, are we
So-
you're actually okay. Well,
Yeah, no, this isn't a bit.
Each minute away from a hot take makes it lukewarm.
yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, did not help the buzzing at all.
Made it worse?
Big surprise. No, not worse. Just the same. Anyways,
Fix it,
here's my hot
Jesus.
take. Moonrise Kingdom is just a mixture of Napoleon Dynamite and Jojo Rabbit.
What?
That's
Oh my gosh, explain.
Actually,
What?
Yeah, elaborate.
Elaborate? All right, hear me out. Napoleon Dynamite. Awkward. It's awkward.
Astute
point, good
observation.
point.
Funky, wacky. I don't know, however you want to say it. That whole kind of the office humor feel of it, you feel me, combined with sort of the look of Jojo Rabbit. The
Aesthetic.
Boy Scouty aesthetic, campy.
I
It's
know,
campy.
and then we had is his name Sam Rockwell as the camp leader again?
What? No, different guy.
No, it's the same.
For sure, different guy.
Yes.
Moonrise Kingdom's camp leader is the guy from Fight Club,
Heck
And-
yeah.
No, Norman. No.
and Jojo Rabbit's camp leader is the guy not from Fight Club, the one Captain K, I think was his name. But
Why does he look like Ralph Fiennes to be?
who?
He's
Voldemort, out of Voldemort, the actor of Voldemort.
Oh, geez, I don't know. I've only ever seen Voldemort look Voldemorty. But anyways, that's
Sorry.
my hot
Side
take. Charlie's running some numbers over there, figuring out who some actors are. So many numbers are being crunched. I don't know. Do any of you guys have some hot takes to drop about the movie? What's your favorite part about Moonrise Kingdom?
As in like scene or like
Sure.
what I've
Yeah,
taken from
scene.
it?
Scene. Favorite scene.
No, we're
Scene?
not talking about the dance
Damn
on
it,
the
they are
beach.
different people.
Yeah, they're different people.
Sorry, it's Edward Norton and Sam Rockwell. I'm convinced that they're identical twins from two different mothers, and they were like separated at birth or something.
Brother from
How
they
would they
mother.
be identical twins from two different
They
mothers?
look the same. They're the same person.
Oh, whoa. Also, the guy from... Oh, never mind. I'm thinking of something else. Go ahead, Haleigh. What's your favorite scene in the movie?
Oh gosh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Favorite scene?
You have
Holy jeez.
you have 3 seconds to
I
answer.
have 3 seconds.
3.
Gosh, my life's on the line, guys.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I really liked all of it. I feel like James and I were talking before. Each act has its own thing going on.
Yeah, it's a solid leak.
Oh, I will say like the colors in each
Yes,
scene.
the colors.
Like, the color scheme.
It's like that color of yellow. I
And
don't know what it's
blue.
called. What's
Yellow
that?
and
What's that
blue.
yellow color called? Like ochre? I don't know.
Yes,
Yeah.
ochre.
That's like their go-to color. And I
ochre
think
over goldenrod any day. A little bit of color theory for you.
vermilion.
Vermilion's red.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh. Oh. I tried my pewter. That's gray.
Yeah.
I'm just naming them. Those are the towns
Chartreuse.
Those are the Pokemon towns. They all have like a fun color. Vermilion, saffron,
You're right. This is
pewter.
way off topic.
It has a lot to do with Moonrise Kingdom though.
Pokemon Town.
I'm pretty sure every Wes Anderson movie uses the same font for the for the titles.
Honestly, the font kind of slapped though.
Can we talk about the narrator?
Ooh.
That's
Mhm.
it's an interesting you don't I mean, well, first of all, you don't really see narrators that much in movies these days. He's like a dude, but he's also kind of omnipotent. He is all-seeing. He introduces that. I like the idea of the movie being on sort of a timer that the narrator introduces. Like, the storm is coming in 3 days' time.
I think it's a little underused.
Yeah.
It sort of just felt like something they had in there. Like, he didn't necessarily need to explain that the storm was coming. Nothing
Yeah.
changes because, like, no one's preparing for the storm. Nothing's
Right.
happening because of the storm until the storm hits.
It's just a backdrop for the third act, kind of. It's just like a change in scenery. You're right. It's
Yeah.
darker and rainy and windy. I don't know. I always like storms and rain and
I
stuff
love
like.
rain.
It's
Oh,
a
yeah.
good backdrop for like a third act. I think it always is. I don't know. I've never seen it done poorly.
Yeah. It's cliche as all hell, but, like, it's
cliche for a reason.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
amazing.
I've always been a firm believer that cliches are cliches for a reason. Like that doesn't a cliche doesn't mean it's bad. It's just it's
Oh, for
something
sure.
that works, so it's popular. So why not do it if you do it well?
I know when people point out, oh, that's a cliche, and then they use that to say, oh, that sucked. It's like, what are you talking about? Just because it's something that other people have used in the past and gets used a lot, you think it's automatically bad? Like, cliches can be awesome.
That's like
They're always awesome.
it's like those people
Done well.
who dislike popular things just because they're popular.
I know. I hate those people.
I hate those people too, man.
All right. Shout
but-
out to
but-
those people.
But you know what I mean, right? It's like why
Yeah, like contrarians.
let people enjoy things. Let me enjoy Wes Anderson.
People who don't like Napoleon Dynamite, though,
I could
Those
never.
people-
I
I
could
could-
never.
those
I
people-
could
they're
never.
good. They're good.
This
No.
this movie, the Susie, is that her name?
Mm-hmm.
That is
Yeah, white
what.
chick.
That is the moment that the art girl movement began was with Susie. I just want to point that out. That aesthetic was birthed right there.
Mhm.
Just iconic.
This movie
The
does have
eggs.
some really good lines, though. Speaking
Oh,
of
yeah.
the art girl movement, when they're describing the boys' painting habits, and they're like, "Well, he does watercolor, usually landscapes, but a smattering of nudes." I was like, "That's hilarious."
I like no, the dialogue in this movie is something else. It's a whole nother level. Because it's like dry humor. It's
Super dry.
It's humor that's just things that people. They're normal sentences. Like none of the sentences are intentionally funny. It's just the way they're delivered and how matter of fact everything is.
Mhm.
You know, I think the painting example is probably the best one that I can think of. But
Some of that awkward humor, though, I think, as much as we all thought this scene was uncomfortable, the kissing scene on the beach was sort of funny. because of all the awkward humor that was going on.
It's very funny when she's like, "You can feel them," and I was like, "Oh gosh, I need to turn this movie off right now." That's a
They'll
little.
get bigger.
I just want to point that out right now that scene is problematic.
It's
They're
problematic.
children.
It's very hard to. There's a scene where this is like a PG-13 movie, I think. So it's not. It's nothing too crazy, but it's the boy and the girl, Sam and Susie, have
I don't remember their names. I never remember the names.
I think it's just because they're both S names. I can remember it, but they run away to the beach and they like jump in the water and they strip down to their undies and they
Undies.
and they slow dance to this French song. It's very artsy, but it's also really weird because they're like 12.
Yeah.
And it's like a grown man directed this and like supervised it. It's I get it that it's like the innocence of love and it's like but it's like you know what I'm saying? It's weird. It's weird to see. It's a weird. I was very uncomfortable when that scene happened.
I thought it was hilarious though.
It's funny. It's funny in how absurd it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some scenes where it's funny and it was clearly meant to be funny, but then there's also some scenes where, as you were saying, it's just dialogue, but then it just ends up being hilarious because of the way that they say the lines.
Yeah, absolutely. Haleigh, you look raring to go over there.
Yeah,
You got
Oh,
Right.
something?
yes. I mean, one thing I would like to point out is how the social service lady doesn't have a name. She's always social service.
What?
Mhm.
They
That's
always say
right.
social services. Come over here.
Oh, that's weird.
I thought that was very
She's just
keen.
she's the institution.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Yes.
Yeah, so there's actually a video essay on YouTube about this movie that I'm pretty sure this is where this steaming hot take comes from. But I'm gonna butcher it, but they made some sort of point about how the kids in this movie are better adults than the adults.
Oh, I was gonna bring that
Oh,
up. I
yeah.
think
Oh,
that's
yeah.
I think that's definitely like the theme of this movie, aside from it being like a coming of age story. Is I was gonna point that out is that it's kind of a common thing. I mean you see it a lot in like all sorts of you see it a lot in Ghibli movies. It's a very common thing in coming of age movies where the kids act like adults and the adults act like kids. Like the scouts who tried to like hunt down Sam and Susie, which in itself is a very adult thing to do, and how violent it is. Like this troop of 13-year-old scouts comes at him with machetes and a bow and arrow and knives and stuff. It's really like,
Are you saying that when you were 13 you didn't carry around weaponry,
as a Boy Scout,
I sure did.
that
nunchucks or nothing?
doesn't happen. No, that doesn't happen, man. That's a pretty intense. I don't know. We had a pretty low like. We weren't that militant. We were pretty.
No nail bats?
No nail bats. No.
Nail limbs. It was just.
Limbs.
Oh, it was a
it
tree.
was just a
a
tree
tree
limb.
limb. You really scared me for a second. But
No, not like.
and then you look at the adults in the movie, and they're having affairs and throwing temper tantrums, and they're just a mess. Except, I liked the police officer, and I liked Bill Murray's character a lot.
Yeah, Bruce Willis, I thought he was
That-
great.
Yeah.
And Bill Murray, yeah. I mean, Bill Murray is the one that's in all of Wes Anderson's movies, right?
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
I don't.
I mean, he's in quite a bit of them. I'm not sure if he's in all of them, but he's like, it's like how Samuel L. Jackson is Quentin Tarantino's guy. Like,
And that the lady who played Bellatrix Lestrange in Harry
Oh,
Potter is
yeah.
Tim
Oh,
Burton's guy.
yeah,
I mean, she's his wife. Or was his
What?
wife.
Really?
Yeah, they were married.
That's crazy. I didn't
Whoa.
know
Yeah.
that. That's
That's-
hot take.
Hot
Hot
take.
news. Socratic
Hot
gossip.
take. Yeah.
We should write a tabloid.
You think we could do it?
Imagine.
Yeah.
I do.
I don't know. Would you be
that.
the editor or like a writer? Or like what would you do?
Editor's column, my opinion piece. I'd have to come up with some controversial opinions.
I don't
but-
think you have a controversial opinion in your entire body, James. I think
Are you
Have
saying
you
I'm
met Jay?
are you saying I'm a conformist?
a conformist.
I'm a
No,
little bit
that
of
is
a
true. You did like
conformist.
cats. Never mind. You,
I didn't like.
You do have bad opinions.
That's
I mean,
controversial.
I didn't
enjoyed
like cats. I
cats.
didn't like
listen,
cats.
we understand it's your favorite movie, James. You
It
know,
was my second favorite.
Go watch James
Go watch his
Delicio's
video
A
essay.
Misstep in the Age of Adaptation.
Misstep, mistake, not a good thing. I didn't like it.
He's just, you know.
I'm a cat.
Can we-
He said it
Sympathizer.
wasn't as
Sorry.
bad as people thought.
Sorry, Kasey. We
I was
we
just
interrupted
gonna
you.
like make a point about the utter angst, like overall, like the angst.
It's
was
a
so real.
very moody movie. Moody movie.
Moody movie.
Movies.
Bill Murray was just
Yeah.
so sad.
The entire time.
Okay, wait. I'm gonna point this out. Is it just me, or did Susie's parents like very suddenly develop the character trait of knowing everything about laws? Was that in the first
It might
I
have been.
Because then there's that scene where they're lying in their separate beds and they're like, Miller versus something, blah, 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 blah. And they're just spitting out these court cases. And then later she's like, Article 13, Section 1.
Oh
no
yeah,
child
with the
may.
storm.
and-
I think
I
they're
don't think it's crazy.
lawyers,
Yeah.
but they
Oh.
didn't introduce it well at all.
Oh, because I guess the
But
mom
yeah.
the mom is talking to the police officer and
yeah,
she's like,
she's
"Are
like-
you a lawyer?" That is a funny scene.
Yeah.
When they start fighting on the.
He throws his shoe at him.
It's another example of adults acting like kids, and
Mm-hmm.
I liked the Scout Troop. I just wanted to say that. I think they're very cool, and the Scouts have a cool arc, a redemption arc, where they decide to be good
Zuko redemption.
because the real sign of maturity is not hunting down your friends with weapons. No, 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 no. Because
Talk to them.
maturity is
Mhm.
being there for your friends, even if they're not popular.
Wow.
And that's
Wow.
something
Wow.
The power of friendship.
that we all need to take note of.
Aw.
Reading
sweet. Yeah.
rainbow.
Oh,
I was gonna say that.
Oh, the kids get married. They act like
Oh,
adults when they get
Jesus.
married.
Yeah.
The guy from the Irishman marries them.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the
Mhm.
guy from The Irishman.
And
that
there's a,
shot.
there's a little reference that you guys noticed.
Oh yeah,
to
Charlie
the-
pointed out
yeah.
something.
I forgot what the two items were in this
like
movie.
leave the
It was leave the something.
leave
take
the
Bible.
carbon, take the Bible.
The carbon.
Carbine. Leave the carbine.
Oh,
Like a-
leave the carbine, take the Bible. That's a reference to The Godfather. My favorite line in that entire movie is "Take the gun," or sorry, "Leave the gun, take the cannoli," because that's what you
Always
should
choose
always
the
do. You should
cannoli.
always take the cannoli.
so good.
It's so good. Godfather is. This movie is.
Pretty
We should
good.
watch
Pretty
that.
good.
I've never seen The Godfather.
Oh.
I had an idea I wanted to propose to you guys. Might have to do it off the air.
No, we're doing it right now.
You brought it up.
You
Bring it
brought
up,
it up.
bring
I
it
know.
to the
No, I'm
people.
building suspense. They'll just have to find out.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
You guys will just have to wait and find out. But I was gonna bring up an idea.
I think
Do
it's the
them later.
classic movie podcast.
A business
we're
plan.
talking about. A business
Ooh.
plan.
A business plan.
Yeah, who wants to give us money?
Can someone sponsor us, please? Can someone, anyone? We need
Chicken
more
skins.
listeners. Chicken skins.
We
Chicken skins.
will say anything you want us to.
Not anything.
Well,
Almost anything you want us
For
to.
money? How much money?
Yeah. Depending on the
It
sum.
depends.
It's
I
not
will
like Fiverr.
sacrifice my,
that was
my
our
dignity.
like where we'll put our sponsor break. I think that we just filled our sponsor
Yeah.
break.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
asking-
Begging for money.
Begging for sponsors.
Simp energy.
Your
right
advertisement
there.
could be here.
Oh, yeah, I saw a bunch of those. I see so many of those. They're at the DMV a lot. But let's talk about what do you guys want to talk about? The soundtrack was cool in this movie. I liked
Oh,
that recurring
yeah.
thing with the narrated like
breakdown.
breakdown of the
thing?
orchestra. That was cool.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know if what the significance to that is, but it was cool. There was a lot of like parallel
Yeah.
structure in this movie. I think a lot of repeated scenes.
Yeah,
Like
lots of repeated shots, especially the pull-out zoom to see a wider picture. I mean, Wes Anderson uses that a whole bunch.
he is very big on like visual humor.
but yeah,
like hard cuts to things
Mhm.
that maybe were happening separate from the actual scene that's going on. Like something will be referenced and you'll just get like a smash cut to whatever is being referenced before you go back into the scene.
yeah.
And they're used for like comedic effect a whole lot. Like the
Mhm.
treehouse thing, he was like, that doesn't look safe. Hard cut to like this huge wide shot of the treehouse, and then you're back in the normal scene. It's crazy.
Mhm.
I like it a lot. Or like pullouts or pans to show something. Like I remember in the French Dispatch trailer, it was like there's this guy walking through a door or something, and it's like, didn't you see the sign? No whatevers. No, I don't know, no hats or something. And then the camera pans up, and right above the door it says no hats. It's just stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's Wes Anderson's like one of his shticks, and I really like it.
Mhm.
Visual humor's great.
Yeah, it's a super constructed world, and I think it's fun to play around in that to a point. But I think other times it got a little bit repetitive for me. Some of the repeated shots.
Yeah, you
Uh,
can only have so many super wide shots.
I mean,
with-
because those are unique shots that are meant to bring punch to something.
yeah,
So when you keep using them, it's like using a Dutch angle for 30% of your movie. It's just gross. and
Is
ugly.
there a set angle that the Dutch angle is, by the way?
32.9? No, I have no clue.
Yeah, I wasn't sure.
I think it's just tilted. Also, I have another super duper hot take. This is spicy. I thought that this movie was a less successful version of Hunt for the Wilder People by Taika Waititi.
I think I haven't seen it.
Haleigh and I are the only ones that have seen it, and I keep mentioning it in every single video. Do you know why? It's because you should watch it.
Oh, I'll do it. I'll
yeah.
do that.
It's awesome. It's totally him. And Taika Waititi and Wes Anderson share a lot of similarities between their styles of filmmaking.
Right.
And Hunt for the Wilder People sort of follows the same thing. It's two people that run away into the bush, as the New Zealanders call it, and they have to escape from a party that's hunting them. And of course, the movies diverge at, about the halfway point and different things happen. But that spirit of like coming of age and learning who you are as you begin to emotionally mature, it's in both the movies. And I think that Hunt for the Wilder People was just a little bit more precise for me.
I think I see your point, and I see like the progression of the story being similar, but I think they're two different movies in the sense that Moonrise Kingdom is more focused on like adolescence, and Hunt for the Wilder People is more focused on the relationship between the two people that run away.
Sure. Yeah. No, I get that. You're right, because in Moonrise Kingdom, the two main characters are children, and in Hunt for the Wilder People, it's an orphan boy. Oh, whoa! 2 orphans as the main characters. That's another similarity. But in Hunt for the Wilder People,
Moonrise Kingdom only has 1 orphan. Let me be clear.
Well, I'm saying that Moonrise Kingdom has 1 orphan, and then Hunt for the Wilder People has 1 orphan.
Oh, you said they're both orphans. I wasn't sure what
sorry.
pair you were talking about.
The main characters of both movies, the one main character of each movie,
The boy.
Right.
the boy, and
Okay.
the 2 boys from the 2 separate movies are both orphans.
Okay,
And
I get
they're-
it now.
They're running from like the foster service.
Yeah, but you're right. In Hunt for the Wilder People, it's a boy, and it's his adopted dad, or I'm not even sure what you would his foster dad,
his
sort of.
foster dad, yeah. It's more about like the relationship of them getting closer together rather than
Oh yeah,
Moonrise
you don't.
Kingdom.
The parent aspect in Moonrise Kingdom is not there as
Yeah.
much.
I do think that the whole running away into the woods to find yourself, though, that's a theme that's in both of them.
How very transcendentalist.
I know. They should talk to Ralph Waldo Emerson and
Read. What's the book called? Walden or something?
Walden. It might be Walden. Walden Pond, something like that.
The Thoreau one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's Walden.
They made a cool video game out of that.
Out of Walden?
Yeah, out of Walden.
Really?
It was actually from USC. The professor that teaches there is the one that made it, along with some of the students. I might be entirely wrong, but just take my word on it. And they made this game where you literally it's just Walden, and you get to listen to some of Thoreau's writings as you're going through, exploring the environment. It looks really boring.
Oh no.
No, it looks good. Like yeah, it's an interesting game. Not something that would probably be fun to see for a very wide audience, but yeah, Walden video game material. Isn't that crazy?
And Moonrise Kingdom is transcendentalist propaganda. It turns out, we discovered.
Yes.
No, I like movies about nature. I think it's in our metropolitan era of cities and screens. It's nice to get back into the forest and just go to summer camp with the khaki scouts.
The khaki scout.
That's the greatest.
I forgot that
That's
was
the
their name.
greatest name for any scouting organization. When Boy Scouts let girls in, I think they should have just changed the name to Khaki Scouts.
To khaki scout. How is Boy Scouts doing? Aren't they
filed
like?
for
They
bankruptcy.
filed for bankruptcy.
So they're
which,
gonzoed.
Not actually. Apparently, I
They're
guess.
still there?
Apparently, when like a big company like this files for bankruptcy, it's just kind of like reorganizing their finances. It's not
Like Forever
actually.
21.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like they're not going anywhere. They just gotta rethink things a little bit.
Mhm.
Which I mean,
Downsides.
Boy Scouts has been broke forever. I mean that's like a meme within the Boy Scouts thing is that they want more money.
Is that they want more money?
Is that they don't have any money.
I know those box cart derbies or whatever they are aren't cheap.
The Pinewood Derby.
Yeah, that one.
Are you referring to the Pinewood Derby?
Yeah, the Pinewood one.
Speaking of pine, back to the woods, back to Moonrise Kingdom.
What a segue.
I know, I'm so
Can
good.
we get a golf clap for that segue?
Oh, that sounded so weird. I'm the only one with headphones on when we record these because we don't have a 4-way headphone splitter.
Why would you need one?
so that we could all.
Pointless.
I'm the only one.
Give
who
us
can
money actually to get a 4-way
sponsor someone's four-way headphone
headphone
splitter company sponsor. Let's make it happen, people.
Mm-hmm. Now let's talk about the 4 ways that Moonrise Kingdom splits relationships between adults and children.
Way number 1. It's strained. It doesn't.
Strained. Doesn't work. See.
Oh.
Non-existent.
Yeah.
I have an actual point to make.
Make it.
Never before seen on Socratic Cinema.
Act 3 of this movie,
An actual point.
kind of whack.
It
I
is.
didn't.
I don't know. I don't think it's as bad as you think it is. I like it. It's weird. Don't get me wrong. The CGI and like the magic that they basically put into the movie with the lightning not killing him, spoilers, and when they're about to kiss on the top of the church, and then lightning transmits between their lips, and she's like, "Oh, you still got some lightning in you."
Yeah,
It's strange.
It definitely adds to like the storybookiness of it, but I liked, and this is a pattern that I've noticed with myself with movies. I always like acts 1 and 2 way more than the finale because, like in Moonrise Kingdom, I like them running away in the forest and like the whole scouts conflict as much as I like the scouts what's the word? Redemption. I just wish the climax of the movie also happened in the forest. I think the church and everything was cool, but I feel like they had a good premise. I feel like a lot of times I like the premise of a movie, but then they have to change the action in a new direction for the climax, and I never like it as much.
You would like Hunt for the Wilder People, then final plug.
Oh, maybe I'll have to see it. But I mean, what did you two think
Of the finale?
of the finale of the movie?
I think I liked where it went. Because their relationship started at the church, so it's kind of nice to see how the climax went back to the church.
It is very full circle.
Yes.
I think Kasey pointed that out while we were watching it. Like it all comes together.
Yeah, especially with like references to Noah's Ark. Like it opens and
Whoa,
Yeah.
hot
That's a
take.
good one.
like it opens with the what is it? Like something's faddles, but it's basically a play about Noah's Ark, and then to have it be like, oh, the flood, and even like the countdown.
That's
Like there was a
crazy.
countdown for like the flood in Noah's Ark, and then there was a countdown to the storm.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, that's
Whoa.
actually really cool. I didn't even put that together.
I didn't either.
Because like the end of the movie's flooding and the rain's all coming down and it's the flood. That's so good.
Whoa.
We
Thank
love
you.
we
I
love
appreciate that.
biblical
Is there any
structure to movies.
biblical significance to the girl being the raven? Right? Like, wasn't she the raven in the play?
I think it's just.
I think
a
it's
little
just
different.
I think it's just to show that it's like a black. Wait, Casey's gonna drop
so,
something.
Between
yeah.
so you know how she was writing that she got switched from being the raven to the sparrow.
Or the blue jay.
Yeah. What?
How do
whatever.
you remember the species of bird she
It was
switched
a blue jay. It was a blue jay.
Or whatever, but there was a specific like when Noah was on the ark, little Sunday school lesson. There was a bird. It was a dove, and it brought him it was like some sort of leaf. Don't remember what it was, but it basically was telling him that the flood's almost over.
Oh yeah.
So like, I don't know.
It's a
but
bird.
That's probably it's a bird.
It's a bird.
Yeah. I think it was.
Maybe that's the bird.
I don't know. Maybe it was that, or maybe it was like Haleigh was saying, like a raven. She's like she's different and she's
Violent.
more mature and violent.
You know, ravens get a bad rap.
They're
I just want to say that real
horrendous.
quick because people hate ravens. Ravens are symbols of wisdom ever since Odin would use them as messengers back in Norse times, and I'm tired of the racism that ravens are receiving because it's unfounded, frankly.
I think Edgar Allan Poe.
Really?
Speciesism? Edgar Allan Poe kind of gave him a bad rap, I guess.
just because you were paranoid.
Yeah, they were cool in his poem, "The Raven." Quoth the raven nevermore.
Oh, I wanted to say something to you guys that I don't know if any of you noticed it, but did it feel like no one was actually the two main characters? Oops, excuse me. Does it feel like they weren't actually talking? Like they would talk, but it feels like a voiceover.
No, we totally noticed that. I mean, like, I know that all of us were complaining about it, where like they would mumble.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
very
yeah.
mumbly.
They wouldn't enunciate.
The book is over
Oh.
there. It's like and it took me until their next line of dialogue to figure out what the previous line said.
I know the boy was like, I don't know
Just
why
those
they...
chubby cheeks.
Because he's 12.
He's not chubby. I don't know why you said that a few times now. He's not. But yeah, it feels like it did not sound like natural audio at all. It sounded like they filmed the scene and then they had the kids lip sync like really close to the mic what they were saying in the scene, if you know what I'm saying. Like that's just the feeling I got from it.
Yeah, no, that's fair. It was definitely a really weird way of recording the dialogue. I'm not sure if that's what they did or if the actors just don't have teeth and can't pronounce words correctly.
Yeah, I don't know, but it was
Sorry for
very
being so mean, by the way. It's
it was very intimate.
it's all in jest.
Like the way it sounded. It just sounded like they were like your ear was close to them and it was really weird. But I don't know.
Maybe that was like an artistic choice.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
just-
absolutely.
I think it's a bad artistic choice, personally. I like to understand what my characters are saying. when
There,
they're
it was
talking.
a little unclear at times. I
Mhm.
will agree with you
It's
there.
like when they say like indie artists sing in cursive.
Oh, yeah,
That's kind of what.
Absolutely.
Am I the only one that just like wants to jump out of their own skin when they hear the cursive talking? Like it makes me so uncomfortable.
What? Hear the what?
People talk in cursive. Have you heard that?
Oh, it's so bad.
No. What?
We'll do
Can
it
anyone
off
do
air.
a
I don't
talking
wanna
in
hear it.
cursive?
I don't
impre-
wanna hear
No,
it
no,
right
no,
now.
He
No,
needs
no,
to
no.
hear it.
Can anyone?
I can't talk in cursive.
How? What does that
Give me
even
like
mean?
a line to say.
The chair is red.
A chair is red.
What is? No,
Yes.
gosh, that was so bad.
No, that's exactly what they sound like, and people who do that
It's so
don't.
They do. That's a thing.
Yeah,
Yes.
Where? What among
It's
what?
like
Chair.
indie songs. It's just how they sing.
My name's Haleigh.
Stop right now, please.
It's like you put your tongue to like the roof of your mouth.
It's
and
the
you're like-
it's the opposite of
Okay.
ASMR.
Yeah, it is
I
the
feel like I keep on this
Yeah.
point keeps on coming to my brain, and then as soon as I'm about to say it, it like runs away.
Okay, say it. Go.
Well, I don't have it anymore. It's
Gotcha,
I was gonna
James.
say something. I can't remember.
Do you know what my trick is? Go through the alphabet and then see which letter it started with, and then you'll remember.
Oh gosh, I have no idea.
Do it
It's
on
like
mic
it's
right
an
now.
abstract concept.
A for abstract.
No, no. Anyways, oh, it was a parallel structure. Back to that because we never really like dived into that. There's a lot of repeated stuff, and we started complaining about the way he shoots his movie because of the repeated shots. But there was a lot of like, yeah, parallelism within it. Like the shot of her reading the book out loud, and then it pulls out, and you see the Sam sitting there like listening, and then he's like, no, keep going. But each time, it serves to like advance the story because the first time he's sleeping, and she's just reading to no one, and then the second time she's reading, and he's like, no, keep going, I'm listening. And then the third time, she's reading, and Sam's like, keep going, I'm listening. And then it pulls out, and all the other scouts like it too. It was very that was very touching. I liked that
Yeah.
third one a lot.
Yeah, it's showing
Yeah.
that she's growing as a person. She's no longer wanting to stab people with scissors.
Yeah, she's not as abrasive anymore, and the scouts are not as abrasive anymore. It's like
Mhm.
they're letting down their
Kumbaya.
barriers.
Who was your favorite scout? I liked the one with the eye patch because his real life name was Charlie.
It was?
Yeah.
When did they say that?
Well, as a cinephile, I watched or I looked at the credits before the movie rolled.
Oh,
So I took note.
I liked the kid wearing the robe in the treehouse who was like, "We've been acting bad, scouts.
Yeah.
We need to. He's our fellow scout, and we need to
Mhm.
save him." Not the one who got stabbed with scissors. I thought that was the
Jerk.
same
The
guy.
meanie.
He was a jerk. Why is that kid such a jerk? All of these kids are awful.
Well,
Conformity.
yeah, no, have you guys
Awful.
noticed that in a lot of teen films, every kid is horrible. Like, they're a horrible person. And I feel like, at least I haven't experienced that to the point that a lot of film characters have. Like-
I mean, I don't think they're ever really in real life as bad, but like, yeah, these kids are stabbing each other with scissors.
I mean, I think that's also to say, like, we have a different teenage culture nowadays. Like,
Yeah,
I feel like
what
back
was
then
this?
it was very more.
This was 65 or something is when the
Yeah.
movie takes place. Is this
So-
supposed to be in America, by the way?
I don't know.
I don't know. Actually,
It looked
I would hope it is because there was American Indian.
Oh yeah,
stuff
I guess
going
I
on.
guess it would
growing
be.
corn.
Oh yeah, corn.
I mean-
yeah, it's definitely
Yeah.
American. He's reading Indian corn.
Oh yeah. Is the magazine the Scoutmaster's reading?
Thank you, A Push, for teaching me the history of corn and
Maize.
horses.
Thinking.
Maize.
A push for anything.
No, do you know that there's like 15 different names for corn in Indian culture? And every time someone lectures me about Indian culture or Native American culture, I apologize. Every time they lecture me about Native American culture, they use a different word for corn, and then they it's just really confusing. I think recently I was at an interview, and they used a word that wasn't maize or corn, and then I was shocked.
Why are you talking about corn in
Yeah.
your interviews?
I'm passionate
know.
about the corn.
Is
I
it
mean,
a bad thing they're called different things?
It's confusing.
corn is good. Synonyms.
Corn-
Synonyms aren't
synonyms.
bad. They're not
Corn.
bad.
Yeah.
They alright. Are you guys excited for the French Dispatch?
Sure.
I am. I'm excited to
It's
see
if
something.
you think this is artsy and this is artsy, French Dispatch is from the trailer. It looks way more artsy. It's shot in a square aspect ratio.
Yeah, I need to watch
Oh.
Lighthouse to see if that aspect ratio works.
Oh yeah,
We do need to watch
because
that.
Lighthouse is artsy too.
Mhm.
I want to. I'm diving into artisan art house movies these days.
Use your fancy word, James.
I saw Emma last night. I had to go to a little theater in Pasadena to see it.
Whoa.
It was good, by the way. So if anyone was wondering if they should go see Emma,
Is
sure.
it better than the Sonic movie?
No
They're.
comment.
I mean, they're so different. I can't compare them.
Is the Sonic movie actually good? I hear everyone be like, this movie is phenomenal.
Oh yeah, here. Let's take a segment. It's called New Movies. Are they good? Today, we're talking about. Have any other of you guys seen Sonic?
No,
Nope,
my
it's
only
brothers
two.
went.
It's a new segment where we just talk about movies without doing a whole episode on them. The Sonic movie. Let's talk about that.
You can talk about it. I haven't seen it.
No one but you.
You're-
It was,
the
pretty,
only-
it was pretty good. I don't know. I'm sorry I'm the only one who sees movies. It was pretty good. It was more enjoyable than I thought it would be. I left the theater satisfied. And it's a good use of my money.
Yes. I'm glad that you
Don't
No.
restate it. Don't restate it. It's done.
It was good.
you have the
Don't-
best way of saying things, James. I just want to point that out. But so was it like kiddie, or was it like funny?
It was kiddie, but it wasn't too kiddie. I
wasn't
enjoyed it
like
as
Pixar,
a
but, you know.
teenager. I enjoyed it. No, it was nowhere near as good as like Pixar, but it was pretty good. It wasn't too like cringy. I hate to use that word, but
Mhm.
it wasn't too cringy. Emma was also pretty good. I don't know. I thought it was a little slow at times, but I'm just not that into Jane Austen. So, yeah, I don't know. That's the end of the segment. I give him 2 thumbs up. Do any of you guys
Wow.
want to make up a segment while we're doing that?
No.
I don't know.
Oh,
I mean,
we got to start getting some fun segments
Here,
that
do you
the
want me to make a
viewers
I
segment?
know.
that the viewers
Uh,
will love.
I mean, I saw Downhill recently. It was surprisingly
you
good.
watched Downhill,
It was
yeah.
based off of Swedish Force Majeure,
Yeah.
something like that. It was featured in like Sundance or something.
Oh, I don't.
I was really
wouldn't
intrigued
know.
by the fact that you like that because
I
it's
was just-
40% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes.
I
It
didn't
is?
expect
Yeah.
it. I walked into the theater thinking it was going to be a comedy, and it wasn't.
Oh,
So I think I was surprised that Will Ferrell and what was the other actor? His
Julia
wife?
Louis-Dreyfus.
Her.
jeez.
They were like, they actually
I watch Veep.
went out of their comfort zone with their acting.
Would
a
you
little
give
bit.
it on a scale of 0 thumbs up to 2 thumbs up?
I'll give it a 1 thumbs up.
1 thumbs up.
A one
Whoa,
thumbs up?
50%.
I know. Casey, what's the last movie you saw in theaters?
No comment.
Oh,
Aw.
jeez, Casey.
Queen
Wow.
and Slim.
Queen and
Okay.
Slim?
Yeah,
Actually, no, Little Women.
Oh.
Little Women.
What?
Whoa.
In December?
Yes.
Oh. Oh yeah.
I just haven't.
I don't know if you guys knew or not, but like the past like 7 episodes that came out, we all recorded on the same day in like December.
Oh, God.
That was a day.
We're getting back into the jive of recording things, into the feel of it.
Mhm.
We're stretching our muscles. We're coming out of hibernation.
Mhm.
Charlie, what's the last movie you saw in theaters?
First, I would like to say, if you guys are excited and like Queen and Slim, right? Name of the movie, you're
Yeah.
doing a video essay.
Casey's
Watch
first.
out.
Casey, woo!
It'll
Casey's
be
first essay.
coming out at some point, possibly in the future. I don't want to make any
Yes.
promises for you.
Yeah.
Be
Uh,
excited.
by the
You
end of
better
this
be
week.
excited.
Yeah, be excited.
Whoa! By the end of this week.
Hopefully.
Yay.
Wow.
Whoa.
Have you?
Hopefully.
What? How
I'm
far?
like-
I've been editing the Resident Evil video for half
Are
a year.
you? Are you in the edit? Are you in the
We
editing
don't care,
phase?
Charlie.
No, I'm halfway through recording it. So.
There we go, Casey. There
There
we
you
go.
go.
Get her done.
Yeah.
Get her done.
Shout outs for things that I watched. Definitely Star Wars: The Clone Wars. Watch
No,
it.
I haven't seen the second.
Oh, I haven't seen the
episode.
second
I
In
haven't seen the
episode
second
2,
Do not.
when Rex dies, I was
Oh man.
no. They find a special somebody, or do they? Dun, dun,
Baby
dun.
Yoda.
Yeah, they find
Oh
Baby
my
Yoda.
gosh, it's the Mandalorian.
No, but
Crossover.
Star Wars: The Clone Wars is back and just as good as ever. I don't want to say better yet because I think they're gonna have the best arcs at the end of the season.
It's a short. It's only a 12-episode season, right? It's a 3-arcer.
It's only a 12-episode season, but the 3 arcs they have planned out, I am confident will be good.
Mm-hmm.
Except I'm gonna get hate for this. Except for the Ahsoka Tano arc. Listen, I love Ahsoka, and I think she's great, but I think she only works with Anakin.
That's why I'm excited for the last arc, the Siege of Mandalore, with like the blue and orange clone troopers. That'll be cool when it all comes together. The final arc. Because there's how it goes. How
The
season.
Siege of Mandalore has been happening for 3 seasons.
Oh yeah, okay, but the season 7, it's
It's
3 arcs. The first one is the Bad Batch arc that we're
Yeah.
currently in. The second one is the Ahsoka on the Run arc,
Yeah.
and the third one is Mandalore with Ahsoka with her blue lightsabers and Anakin and
Well,
all the clones.
we're
and-
also going to get Order 66.
That'll probably happen during the Mandalore.
Siege of Mandalore. I hope they don't overly focus on the Mandalore arc because listen, Mandalore's cool, but they've done it 4 times and like
Well, I think that's the main like arc
Fight,
of
yeah.
of Clone Wars. I mean, it's the last arc of the series.
sure, yeah. But spoilers. Satine's already died. So we don't have that cool Obi-Wan dynamic.
But it's just now it's just Darth Maul. They just need to deal with it.
Yeah,
now.
Savage is Merc too, which is a little sad. But yeah, it's Darth Maul, and then we have Sidious mucking about. We don't know what he's gonna do. I don't know. I think the final episode's gonna be Order 66, and I'm going to weep openly,
Openly and delicately.
and delicately,
Um,
and I'm going to record it and then post it on the channel.
we're
Yes.
I hate to say it, but we're coming up at the end of our time here. Do any of you guys have any other notes to say about Moonrise Kingdom? What's our parting thoughts on it?
Peter Pan energy.
Peter Pan energy. Oh, that Wendy movie's coming out. That looks good.
Oh, I want to.
Oh.
Yeah, that looks good. I
got
really
really
want to see that.
Why am I always the downer in the group?
Do you? Oh,
You're just like,
It's
it looks
sorry.
horrible.
you don't want to see it?
I think it's okay.
I don't know. I'm hopeful for it. I think it looks interesting.
I've seen Peter Pan a lot. Is my thing, and
Gotcha.
they better do something different.
Yeah.
Kind of look
It
like
looks
Peter Pan.
different.
Listen, Wendy.
Ooh. Charlie, what's your parting thoughts on Moonrise Kingdom?
Moonrise Kingdom, definitely a Wes Anderson movie. Personally, not my favorite. I would choose his animated films over it, but I still think it's a fun time if you're into his style. If you're not, you're probably not going to enjoy it. Sorry to say, it's not a universally likable film in my opinion. I can't see people that go to the cinemas to watch the next Avengers movie being like, yeah, Wes Anderson, amazing. Although that is not discriminating against people that like Avengers because I love Avengers. But yeah, solid movie, 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10. I see. Carry on. Casey,
Okay.
out of 10.
Out of 10, I would say maybe like a 6.5 out of 10.
Ooh.
Because-
She hated the movie more than me. Guys, did you hear that?
That's
No,
crazy.
mostly
This has
because
never
this
happened.
is-
It was.
First.
I know. I finally beat Charlie at something. Rip me. Because it, like, from my personal experience with Wes Anderson, I feel like maybe this wasn't the best movie for me to start, open up his style
okay.
with.
Yeah.
But that doesn't say that I didn't enjoy it because it was very enjoyable. But as you've said, other movies have done it better. But I feel like the saving qualities are probably the color scheme, the occasional haha funnies, and yeah, just how well he, as I said at the beginning, just handled a little bit of complex structuring.
I think I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. 'Cause
Yeah.
The movie by itself, I think I really appreciated because it served even though it had a lot of style to it, like you said, style over substance.
Yeah.
I think it all served the purpose of bringing us back to like childhood innocence, like the old library books,
The
seeing
puppy
everything,
love,
the
yeah.
puppy love, just figuring things out. Like, you ever had like where you wanted to run away and like
Yeah,
what would
of
happen if
course.
we went into the woods and like
Yeah,
Just,
in suburban California.
yes, in suburban.
No, I feel
I
it.
used to live in San Diego.
We're gonna dox
You know,
ourselves.
me and Kasey, you know.
Suburban
Okay.
California is pretty broad.
But yeah, I think it served its purpose well, of just being like a movie about adolescence and like
8 out of 10.
yeah, 8
Yeah,
out of 10.
I'd agree. 8 out of 10. I enjoyed it a lot. It scratched all my screenplay/cinematography itches. I liked it. It was very fun to watch and fun to think about and pick apart. I am a sucker for all the cool camera techniques and framing that they did. Rule of thirds, who, man? Put him in the center. Also interesting, that whole ignore the rule of thirds is something that they did a lot in Emma, and visual humor is something they did a lot in Emma.
Ooh.
So it has a little bit of the Wes Anderson feel for it. So if you like this, maybe still go see Emma. I don't know why I'm still talking about it, but I'm pretty sure that's all we got on the menu for today. But
Yeah, no, I'd say that's a wrap.
yeah, check us out on
That's a Chipotle burrito wrap.
ooh,
Boom.
Check us out on
Not sponsored, but please.
Check us out on all available platforms, including but not limited to, and well, no, limited to Spotify, iTunes, Anchor, YouTube, iHeartRadio,
Yeah.
Apple Podcasts. Yeah, not iTunes. Sorry. Give us a follow on Instagram. Tell your friends. Spread the word.
And Twitter. You have a Twitter.
Yeah, follow us on Twitter
If you want.
If you
yeah.
want. Yeah, spread the word. Tell your friends. Please tell your friends. Get us some sponsors. Chicken skins. Hello. We're
looking at
available.
you.
Yeah, keep on spreading the word. Keep on listening. Thank you for your support. If you enjoyed it, I don't know if you can rate, but yeah, rate us well. Smash that like, comment,
Notifications.
Subscribe.
Click that bell.
click that bell. Go check out our other videos if you like them as well. We'll see you guys real soon in 2 weeks
I
with
guess.
another episode. Yeah, that's our
okay.
thing now. That's it.
Yeah, we've been Socratic Cinema.
Adios.